Alright, welcome to the plane room. This is going to be a three-part video series describing the planes in my collection. These are all 172 scale, mostly World War II planes. Part 1 is going to be Allied aircraft. Part 2 is going to be Axis aircraft. And Part 3 is going to be a small collection of aircraft in the Vietnam War. Alright, Part 1, Allies, starting with the B17 Flying Fortress, and then the B29 Super Fortress. And we have two Pacific fighters. This is a land-based F-4U Corsair, and a P-38. This is an early model P-38F Lightning. Here we have a snowy Russian airfield where P-02 is parked, and a P-47D bubble canopy version. So starting on the top shelf, we have two B-24s. First is a USAAF B-24, and next to it is a RAF Coastal Command B-24 with the radar antenna for detecting U-boats in the Atlantic. And here is a Avro Lancaster, and I got a mirror set up so you can see into the massive bomb bay. And here's a C-47 transport cargo aircraft, bringing in some supplies. Middle shelf is U.S. fighter aircraft, starting here with a P-38L. We have two P-39s. 4 P-40s. First one's a ABG P-40. That's a P-40F. And these are two P-40Ns. That's a CBI Theater P-40. And that's a Pacific Theater P-40. And we have a P-47. This is the earlier Razorback model. And then a P-51. A B or a C model with the bird cage. And then that's a P-51 with the Malcolm hood, P-51D, and then two U.S. Spitfires, earlier Spitfire Mark V, and a Photo Recon Spitfire Mark IX. And then here we have the P-61 Black Widow U.S. Night Fighter. Here are the British aircraft, starting with a Gladiator, and a Hurricane Mark I, Hurricane Mark II, a D model with the 40mm anti-tank cannons. Spitfire Mark I, Spitfire Mark IX, P-40 North Africa, A-20 Mosquito, Coastal Command Beaufighter, Hawker Typhoon, and a Hawker Tempest. British and Commonwealth aircraft continue here with RAF P-47 used in China, Burma, India, and also the Hurricane. And this is a Brucer Buffalo used in Singapore. And back there is a New Zealand Air Force P-40. And here we have Australian Spitfire, flown by Clive Caldwell, Australia's highest scoring ace, and I think one of the few pilots to score victories against all three Axis powers. This is a Australian Air Force Hudson patrol bomber, and of course the Australian Boomerang. And then I have a PBY here as well. Some more Pacific Theater fighters, a P-47D, Sleepy Time Gal, and a P-40N. Here's the A-20G model, Green Hornet. And back there's Tex Hill's P-51 that he flew in China, 44. B-25, modified gunship strafer. And B-26 flak bait. Continuing the Allies, we have aircraft of the Soviet Union, starting with I-153 there, and an I-16. And back there we have a IL-2 two-seater with the machine gun. And then that's a IL-2 early single-seater model. That's a Yak-3, a Yak-9. And this middle row is the LA series, starting with the Lag-3, LA-5 FN, and the LA-7. This is a MiG-3 up here. PE-2 bomber back there. A 2U-2 bomber. And 2 Lend-Lease aircraft. A Lend-Lease Hurricane and a Lend-Lease P-39. This is the PZL-23, PZL-37, and a PZL-7. Here we have 2 French fighters, the D-520, the MS-406. And that's a Bristol Blenheim flown by the Free French Lorraine Squadron. And then this is a Dutch Fokker D-21. And finishing up the Allies, we have Allied carrier aircraft, starting with a Royal Navy Hellcat and a Fairey Swordfish torpedo bomber. Here we have U.S. carrier aircraft, SBD Dauntless, F-4 Wildcat, TBM Avenger, F-6F Hellcat, and 2 Corsairs. That one has folding wings. And this one's get ready to take off. And I have a B-25 there. That's a Doolittle Raider B-25. That's why it's on the carrier.